Hello again, I'm James Taylor, the author of Jazz and Improvised Piano, and I'd like to show you now a way of practicing lots and lots of different modes and getting yourself completely familiar with the idea of modes. Now then, this is based on lesson 6 of Jazz and Improvised Piano, and the left hand's going to play this figure, which is based on a C major chord. If you look at the C major triad here, we take the E there to the top. This is actually lesson 6. This is based on lesson 6 of Jazz and Improvised Piano. It's actually a shortened version. So anyway, if we just play the C, G, and then if we add the D there, and then we've got the E at the top for the chord, we've got this sort of thing going on. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's basically a C major chord there in the left hand. The right hand now can play with different modes. Over the top of this, we can play in C major scale. Now, C major scale is actually called C Ionian mode, and we can play using this mode over the top of the left hand. So there, because the C major scale is effectively all white notes, I could use a selection of white notes over the top of it, and it's all very effective. Now then, that's the C Ionian, which is actually C major scale, which of course is all white notes for those that know their scales. Now then, if we raise the 4th degree, we get what's called the Lydian mode. That's the Lydian mode. So we've just got this F sharp now. So we can play around with this F sharp using this sort of sound. And if we play the same left hand figure as before, exactly the same, C, G, D, E, if we play that in the left hand, the right hand can now introduce these F sharps and play in C Lydian. Notice how, because we've got the F sharp, we can base ourselves, although we're playing a C major chord in the left hand, we can play a sort of D major type figure in the right hand. Taking this sort of D major shape. Again, we can use, this is actually the D major triad, D, F sharp and A. I can take the A down an octave here. So this means we can play around this D major triads over the left hand playing this C figure. And it sounds something like this. And of course I can freely work around that F sharp now and work in C Lydian. And then I can move back to C major again. That's C Ionian. So we're playing between C Lydian and C Ionian freely. And this gets you completely familiar with the difference, with the sort of shift, if you like, in sound when you move to that Lydian mode. Let me show you. In C major, go to C Lydian, back to C major, so the C Lydian, of course, is pretty much, we've got this major third here, so it's basically a major sort of sounding mode. Now then, if we adjust the left hand to a C minor mode, C minor figure, the right hand has to accommodate that E flat. So the right hand has to play E flats too. We can't play E flats in the left hand and E naturals in the right hand. It sounds horrible, like this. I'm sure you'll agree that that's a sound that you would like to avoid. Now then, okay, so we've got the E flats in here. Now, moving from C major scale as before is all white notes. If we've got this E flat in the left hand, we've got to make sure that the right hand agrees with this. So we've got to include an E flat in it. Now this, for those who know the scales, this is a C melodic minor ascending pattern. It's basically just like a C major scale with a lowered third. And if the left hand plays using that pattern, that C, G, D, E flat, and the right hand improvises using this melodic minor ascending, we get a very nice sort of sound like this. From the C melodic minor, which has just got the E flat, we can now flatten the 7th degree as well. So the 7th degree of C major is this B here, so we're going to lower that to become a B flat. So we've got a C major scale with a lowered third and a lowered 7th. This is a Dorian mode. It's like a major scale with a flattened third and a flattened 7th. That's the Dorian mode. And again, I can play with the left hand underneath that using that E flat figure. And it sounds like this. So, anyway, that's the C Dorian. I can also play C Aeolian. Now then, the Dorian mode, as you said, has got the flattened third, the flattened 7th. That's a flattened third and a flattened 7th. The Aeolian mode has additionally got the flattened 6th. So we've got a flattened... Now the 6th in C is an A, so we've flattened that to become an A flat. So C Aeolian has got the flattened third, flattened 6th and flattened 7th. It's a very dark sounding mode. And again, the left hand can play the same as for the melodic minor and the Dorian mode with this. And I get this. Okay, so we've seen now, we've looked over the major scale, which is called the Ionian mode, and the Lydian mode. Those are two major modes, if you like. And we looked at three minor modes. We've looked at the melodic minor ascending, we looked at the Dorian mode, and we looked at the Aeolian. So do check out the video on modes. We're talking about the Dorian and the Aeolian and the mixed Lydian, and that will actually clarify a bit of this. But anyway, what I can do, I can switch quite freely between any of these modes here, provided that when I go from a major mode to a minor mode, I make sure that the right hand agrees with the left hand. So what I can do now, I can go freely between the major scale, the Lydian, and then I can alter the third in the left hand. I can alter the E to the E flat in the left hand. So when it's major, I'll be playing this. I'll be playing this for the major scale and for the Lydian. When I play the minor scales, that's the melodic minor and the Dorian and the Aeolian, I'm going to be playing this. And I can freely change between the different modes. And it sounds rather good. Notice, by the way, that with the minor modes, we're actually keeping this E flat. Now this E flat defines the minorness, if you like. The 6th and the 7th are fairly freely sort of negotiable, really. We can either play A naturals or A flats and B naturals or B flats, provided we make sure that we are playing at any one time, we're not playing A flats and A naturals, because that doesn't sound so good. But what we can do, we can freely change at any point between modes. We could perhaps play a melodic minor ascending and an Aeolian mode going down, and then a bit of the Dorian mode, and then I might go back to the melodic minor descending this time. So that was, and I can change between these quite freely, and this will actually enable you to practice the major scale sound, the Phrygian sound, sorry, the major scale sound, the Lydian sound, there's the two majors, and also the three minor scales that we've discussed. And it really will help you to get familiar with the different qualities of the different modes. And it sounds something like this if you just go from one to the other. Okay, have fun with this, and I'm sure that you learn lots from this. Again, I'm James Taylor, the author of Jazz and Improvised Piano, and I highly recommend you get the book.